Hey, thanks everybody for taking time out of your day. I'd like to just talk to you about installing NetBackup. NetBackup is similar to Commvault. You know, it's mostly how is it different? Well, Commvault is Windows. The Com server is a Windows box. Only can be on a Windows box. I know they've been talking about doing a Linux box, and NetBackup you can actually use Windows Server, and it's also, I want to say it's Solaris. I think it is a Solaris box. It also comes with pre-installed on a NetBackup box. They're pretty costly. So the difference, I guess, would be with Commvault, it's pretty good tech support. Not that NetBackup's not, but Commvault's just a superior tech support, meaning your problem is solved a lot faster than NetBackup in my view. I've used both of them, and there's good about both, and there's bad. The comparison. So yeah, it's pretty good. I know if you learn NetBackup, you're in high demand skill wise. So we're gonna just teach you. I'm just gonna just really basic, right? Basic stuff. Teaching you how to install NetBackup 8.1, and then we're gonna do just a brief little thing about Op Center, how to install Op Center. So Operation Center is managing multiple media servers, or I'm sorry, master servers, excuse me. And so let's just go. Let's go through the steps, shall we? Obviously, if you're at this point, then you have a license with Veritas. So you log into my.veritas.com, put your credentials in, and download the software. And if you click on licensing actually here, it'll prompt you to where you can go and download it. So yeah. At any rate, moving on. So you download it, right? You have it on your server, and then now what? So now it's on your server, and you right-click on the package, the software basically, because we're installing this in a Windows box, and you run as admin. Sometimes you may get this little prompt. Basically, it's like user UAC is enabled, so I just push next. I push yes. It's not a big deal. Here's well, I had a screenshot of what it looks like, but you just push next and you're good. So anyway, you, you're in NetBackup now. You're ready for the wizard. Look at this, huh? So I'll just go over what this stuff is so you have an idea. The master server is what it says, master. It like sees everything, it controls everything. It says like you go over here, you go over there. Hey, are you backing up that? All right, are you backing up that? Okay, good. Yeah, make it sure, huh? Yeah, make it sure, huh? And the media servers, those are like, hey, sir, yes, sir, ma'am, yes, ma'am, move out, execute, right? Those are the worker bees. So the master server says, listen, you need to do something. You need to back up this device. And the media server is like, okay, yeah, let's do it. Let's back it up. And the clients are the customers. The clients are what you actually back up. So you're backing that up. And a lot of times, well, most of the time, really, you install the NetBackup client on that. I'm sorry, you install the NetBackup client on that. Maybe it's a Windows server. You're whatever you're backing up, right? And why do you do that? Why do you do that? The reason you do that is pretty much for authentication and to make sure it works properly. I don't know how many times I can tell you that, oh, NetBackup is not installed in this server, can't back it up, and you can't restore it. Oh, well, put NetBackup on it. Too easy, right? So, yeah, I mean, it will cause you a lot of, I wouldn't say problems. I just say time wasted. Like, really? You guys didn't put NetBackup on this? Come on, really? Anyway, okay, moving along. So, log on credentials. So obviously, we're installing this on an Active Directory box, Active Directory server, and so yeah. All right, what are we at here? So the master server, the DR, the disaster recovery, it's at the bottom there. That is for, might have that say your appliance. They call NetBackups. They're called appliances, master server appliance, media server appliance. If it loses like it goes down, right? Well, the DR, the master server, the DR box, basically, that one is essentially there for that reason, disaster recovery, right? Well, where are we at here? So it says setup wizard includes Veritas NetBackup based on your configuration, blah, blah, blah. You may need the following. Of course, you're going to need the following. So we're just going to install this on a master server. We're not going to do a media server. So we have our login credentials for the server. Obviously, I'm doing Active Directory. We have the NetBackup license. And if you want to get one, you can just, email a sales rep for Veritas. Go on their site. If you have a company, LLC, you need to put in your tax ID and partner with NetBackup, and then test out their product. You might like it. Never know. Cluster information such as virtual name, IP, and the password for the web server, service. Excuse me, because each of these master servers, you can actually log into them via, like a website basically, and you can check the status of them. You can check, are they up? Are they good? The full. The catalog is full. Okay, so we're going to push next on this deal here, and we're going to just read it, accept it, blah blah blah, and here we go. We're going to install it on a local computer because I'm not installing it on multiple computers. I'm just doing one. So I'm just going to do install on local, and then to put your license key in, the license key. See how it's grayed out right there? Well, you got to put the license key in for it to go ungrayed. Yeah. Oh, presto. Look at that. So we have a couple different options here. We have NetBackup Media Server. We have the Master Server. And then we have the DR Master Server. Well, we want to install the Master Server, NetBackup Master Server. Again, the Master Server is the brains, hey, you do this. Hey, guys, do this. Hey, you do this, right? Media Server is the worker bees. Okay, I'm doing this. I'll move out. Yes, sir, yes, sir. Ma'am, yes, ma'am. So we push next on that deal. And, it's going to say, hey, please, since I'm using a domain, put in your domain credentials. So that would mean you would create a domain group, and I'd put a little thing in here on the right on how to actually create a domain account. A domain group, right? So inside the domain group, just put the username right there, NB Web Service, right? And then NB Web under the group in the group account. So once you do that, put the password in right here and push next. Well, this is next here. Then the NetBackup server includes active web server, of course, critical backup, etc., etc. If you want to read more about it, click on the link. Okay, so here we are. This is where you would install MasterServer, and if you wanted to add additional, say, media servers, you would put that in there. Enter server. Enter the name of the additional backup master or media servers that communicate with the server, etc. The Op Center. That Op Center, Operation Center, is the next gen, of course, reporting admin solution, and I already have one. I've already installed it actually on here, so I'll push next on that deal. And one moment, please, of course. Now I took the screenshots because who wants to watch wait for spinning disk and going through blah blah blah. That's kind of boring. So this is why I did screenshots and just showing you how to do it. So in some other videos I did the same thing as well. I think Commvault version 11 I did the same thing, and a couple Windows tutorials I did that as well. Let's see. So Veritas NetBackup, etc., etc. Yeah. Okay. Good. And pre-install check. This is similar to really anything. If install a server package or a service or whatever, or software, it's going to just go and check, say, do you have everything good to go? Can I install it? Yes. It'll throw an error if not. And now we're on our way. And now we're okay. Installation complete. Look at that. Awesome. All right. So now you want to launch the NetBackup admin console. That's pretty cool. That's a Java console. So you have a couple different ways to log into the NetBackup appliance or NetBackup software, basically. You have the NetBackup admin console. It's a Java-based program, basically. And you also have like a website. But the website doesn't, like the web server portion doesn't tell you a lot of information, whereas the GUI will. The Java GUI will. Let's see what it looks like. So you this is what I'm talking about, the NetBackup admin console. There's a couple different ports to be open. I think it's, off the top of my head, I think it's 1536. I may be wrong on that, but you can Google it and do some homework on that deal. I want to say it's 1534 or 1564, but I have to Google it because I forgot actually. To get it to work, basically, those ports have to be open. Anyway, so you log in to the NetBackup and voila, look at that. That's so cool, dude. Really, look at that. Awesome. Look at that. How cool is that? So this is pretty cool, right? So you have on the left hand side, let me just go over this. This is pretty cool. Commvault's kind of similar to this a little bit. It kind of looks similar, but it just has different features, right? So it's not obviously really live, right? So I'm just going to show you what it looks like here. So you have the backup, archive, and restore. You have the activity monitor. So the backup, archive, and restore, it's called the bar. If you're here like, oh, click on your bar, well, it's backup, archive, and recovery. That's where you go and obviously recover your data. You know, you're gonna you can also do create backups there. You can also recover data. That's usually where you recover data. And then the activity monitor tells you what's failed. You know, and then the other thing that just the key on is the policies. So you create all of your policies here. For instance, you might have, I don't know, a couple VMs, Windows VMs, a couple Ubuntu VMs, you know, and you don't want to back them up at the same time because they're kind of flaky a little bit, you know. So you put them in different policies. You might put a Windows VM, you know, in one policy, and then you might put Ubuntu, Linux, whatever, policy in another time frame. You just name it differently, right? It'll be something like Windows policy, right? And then you put in your whatever VMs, your Windows VMs you're backing up, and then the same thing with the Linux or the Ubuntu policy as well. The storage, that's going to be like your disk, your spinning disk, your pool of where your data is going to. Where is it backing up to? Okay, and pretty much for now, that's pretty much it, right? That's pretty much it. Yeah, so that's basically NetBackup in a nutshell, really. I mean, there's a lot more to it. I can tell you from personal experience, what you'll find is, you know, have a bunch of error codes, like, you know, and if you know what the service is related to the error code, you're good. If you don't, you have to do a lot of digging. So if you're getting into this whole NetBackup deal, what I would recommend you do is, you know, research some of the codes. You know, I mean, it's kind of hard, right, when you're actually working and like you need to get this up, need to get it working. You don't have time for that nonsense. You don't have time for that. You just want to get it working and then move on to the next thing, whatever thing you're doing. So I get that, and some of people don't have time. And you know, I know I've been in this situation too, and so you just, you know, usually there's a person that you work with who knows a lot more about NetBackup than you. And just like pick his or her brain and find out, like, what do they know? What can I, you know, how does this work, right? And then slowly but surely you'll learn it, right? Eventually you'll learn it. And you know, on the side, maybe you're doing something like this where you stand up your own NetBackup server so you can like play with it and break it and see how it functions, just to get a really good understanding of it, right? And I recommend that to anybody who wants to learn NetBackup. Get it, download it, install it, and then break it. Just play with it and see how it works, right? I say, like, if you have VMs in your environment, and a lot of times the most common thing I see is VMware Tools, right? So VMware Tools is not up to date, it's outdated, it's not running, whatever. What that does is it throws an error. It throws a 156 error on your NetBackup jobs. So you're going to probably see that. If you just remember 156, like it's probably NetBackup services aren't running, or VMware tools aren't installed, VMware tools aren't running. Those are pretty much, I mean, it's not all the time, but those are pretty much the root causes on that. Another one is like a 58 error, which is can't connect to client. Could be the client's off. Could be the virtual machine is turned off for whatever reason. Somebody turned it off. Whatever. It can't connect. Network's choppy. Network's offline. Whatever. You're going to see those. A lot of times I see 156 errors and I see 58 errors a lot of times. So yeah, I'm going to cover more on this in later videos and go on, do a job, create a job, do some more videos. This is just an introduction to NetBackup, basically. Just want to give you a feel for it. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is the Ops Center, Operations Center. Operations Center is if you have multiple NetBackup master servers or media servers, you can just look at them. You can pull a report on them. You can see what they're doing. You can see what jobs are running, what jobs have failed. And so, for instance, say like, you have, you might have Ops Center in, I don't know, New York, and you're a big company, multiple offices, and you have master servers along the East Coast, all the way from Orlando, Walt Disney. You're backing up their stuff, let's say, and they have different offices, let's say, somewhere else, and you're backing up all their data, and you want to see like what's really going on. Imagine logging into, say, 100 NetBackup master servers. Do you know how much time that would take? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's just nonsense. So the Operations Center allows you to like take a just brief snapshot of all of your NetBackup devices. Okay, what's faulty? What's good? Boom, okay, I see that one. Rather than log in every single one. It's just, gosh. And imagine if your network is slow. Good Lord, you have to hire like 4 people just for that job. Good night. So yeah, Operations Center that's what it's really for. I want to see everything. I want to see, okay, that's the problem. Boom, go there. Job's not working. I know exactly where it's from. So yeah, let's do that. Let's install the NetBackup Operations Center. NetBackup Operations Center. Notice the keyword, right? NetBackup. And so sometimes sometimes I'll say like NetApp or NetBackup. Like, oh yeah, sorry, it's NetBackup. Just change your name, dude. Veritas. It's good. Done. Anyway, so in the power of the internet, you've just downloaded the Op Centers 8.1, right? Blah blah blah. You go and do setup, as you know, right? Next. This is pretty much self-explanatory, really. I mean, it's really awesome, actually, tool. Same as NetBackup, where you just do next. Scroll down. You're going to install it on a local computer, or this computer rather. Typical. For development or training environment, I just do the typical stuff. I don't do a lot of custom stuff for that. But there could be times when you could do custom stuff. You can also install this on a Linux box. Of course, I'm installing this on Windows. What's going on here? Oh, I must have clicked the wrong. Let's go back. Okay, here we go. Where are we at? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Install on local computer only. Typical. And next. Put your keys in. What you have. Keys of the kingdom. Push next. And it's going to install. So it says, it's very similar. It's very similar to Commvault. The installation to those logs there. It's very similar to when you do a SQL Server install. It'll say save the summary somewhere. In this case, it's a log folder. This is very similar to that. So just install it right there, and it's going through this process. Yeah, it's gathering information. It's good to go. Launch. Sorry about that. We're gonna launch now. Hey, you're done. Congratulations, you've just installed Op Center. It wasn't, they make it sound so, oh, it's such a big deal. It's not. Just a couple next, you're done. I'm sure it's, more difficult in Linux, but we're only doing it in Windows. So, okay, so here's what it looks like right here. This is so cool, by the way. So cool. This is so cool. So I don't have any master servers connected to it, but I'll just show you what it could look like. So you're gonna log in to it, and here is like, it's just basically like reporting on steroids, right? I want to add a master server, add a Ops Center group. So basically, like, what would you do this for? You do it for, say, I don't know, Disney. You're backing up for your customer, multiple customers, and one of the customers is Disney. One of the customers is Major League Baseball. One of the customers is, I don't know, not Apple. They would use this, some other company like that. So let's just say MLB and Disney. So you would create like groups for those two. Where you click on, okay, everything in Disney, this is a group. Everything in Major League Baseball, this is a group. And, you can add users, you can configure emails. So, for instance, you want to email a report to somebody, and at the end of the day, or if something happens, almost like a triggered alert, you can set that up here, basically. Then, okay, so let's dive in a little more. What are we on here? Okay. All right, cool. So, we've clicked on monitor now, right? On the left-hand side, you're going to typically see all those master servers right there. Bam! They're going to be there. That's a bunch of them. However many you have, right? You're going to see them all, like more than you probably even care to see. Don't get confused. Hopefully they're all in a group, so you know which one's which. And I'll just go over the tabs, right? So you have overview, jobs, that is, well, let's go to the next one actually, right? So jobs, this is jobs. When you click on jobs, these are the jobs. So for instance, you might have 20, 30 backups, whatever going, and you have some failed. Well, you want to know what failed last night, 2 nights ago, whatever. So you go in here, you go to jobs, and you click on all jobs, failed jobs in this regard. These are all canned filters. Come with it. You can create your own filter as well in whatever you want to do. And so you might click on failed jobs, and it's going to show you the failed jobs. What's failed, in the past however many hours, 24, 48, whatever you want. And then also you can create you can export it to a PDF, or you can export it to a Excel spreadsheet, .csv. Sometimes people, maybe Disney wants to know, hey, we installed a server. We want to know how much bandwidth how much data we're backing up, right? They want to know that. Well, you can use these filters, not necessarily these, but you can use filters in here to actually create reports telling them you've backed up this much data in the past 30 days, and so they can use that metric for to plan. Like, okay, we've only backed up a terabyte in the past 30 days. I don't think we need it's for planning purposes. They can plan out ahead. That's the whole deal there. So that's really pretty much it right there for Op Center and NetBackup. The policies, you can view the policies, the media, the devices, the hosts, alert audit trail, cloud. That's going to be really cool. I don't know that yet, but that sounds really awesome, where you can actually back up everything to the cloud, maybe AWS or whatever. It's pretty cool stuff. That's the new technology right there. They always say like when you back up to the cloud, that's cheap. But when you restore from the cloud, there you go. That's your cost right there. It might be like 3 cents a terabyte or something. I don't know. It's probably a lot more than that, but it's 3 cents a terabyte, let's say, for backing up to the cloud. But when you recover it, yeah, they're going to get you there. Which, hey, listen, if you're an enterprise client and you have millions of dollars, right, and you're down for, say, a minute or 2 minutes, and if you have to be up quick, right, and you use this technology, the cloud, you might, you back it up to the cloud, and in that cloud, you're able to restore it within, less than a minute. You might be saving $1 million or a couple $100,000. So this is a drop in the bucket for the software. The software I think might cost, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, 60K maybe a year, something like that, for the total for maybe like one master server. I may be wrong on that, but that's a drop in the bucket compared to what you're gonna lose if you don't have reliable data backup. Most everybody that does backup and replication, Veeam, Commvault, who else does it? EMC, Avamar, it is, right? Is it Avamar or Data Domain? I know Data Domain. All those guys have similar features, cloud, and really if you know one, you're going to know a lot of other ones. So if you know Commvault, you're going to know NetBackup. Similar names, similar ways of doing things. But anyway, I'd love to really, I'd love to really show you more right now, but unfortunately it's not set up yet. And in future videos, I will definitely do that. So I'd like to thank you for viewing this video and have a great day.